I'm Madeline Harvey. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. In our lesson video today, we're going to talk about what makes a good warm-up. What kind of exercises are the most effective for warming up? That way you can get simple warm-up and get on to singing. So if you like today's video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up or click that subscribe button below. I would love to see you here more often. Before we get into the video, I just want to announce that we've just launched a new service on our website called Vocal Evaluations. So if you're preparing for an upcoming audition or performance, or maybe you're a self-taught singer and you need some feedback and tips and pointers of how to take your singing to the next level, visit me at madelineharvey.com and click on Vocal Evaluation. We'll leave some information for you below. So, what you're about to see is a clip that was taken from a live lesson that was shot earlier today. If you want to watch the entire live and participate in the multiple exercises in today's video, then I encourage you to click that join button below or the provided link and become a member of this channel. As a member, you'll have exclusive access to all of our lives that we do every Monday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. So again, click that join button, become a member. It's only $4.99 a month and your contribution helps to support our channel. That way we can continue to deliver awesome content for you. You ready to get started? Here we go.
About that?
He's gonna, there we go, hey.
Go get him.
It's very important to me that you guys see the piano, but I didn't know how to do that little ditty he just did. Okay, so rewind, let's try this again. Vocal warm-ups, really confusing for everybody. I get this question all the live long day. What kinds of warm-ups should I do? Should I vary what I'm doing depending on my goals, depending on my level of ability? These are all really, really good questions. And hopefully by the end of today's live, you will have such a solid understanding of what a vocal warm-up actually is and how you can utilize your time, because that's the thing, right? We want to hurry up and warm up so we can get to the good stuff, get to the practice. But we have to understand why a warm-up is necessary and what it is exactly. Before we hop into that, I just want to say, saw a couple people, our new members. Thank you so much for joining. We're really excited to have you here. We do these lives every Monday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's Nashville, Tennessee time. So we're hopeful that you can join us. There we go. So you want to think of a vocal warm-up as being something that's so simple. Let's just keep it simple. So even if you are an accomplished singer, do a simple warm-up. If you're a beginner, do a simple warm-up. So what kind of things do we want to keep in mind when we're warming up? So you want to look at a couple of things. One is have some gentleness with your body. If you are singing when you've woken up, or let's say early in the day, early in the morning, you want to drink an obscene amount of water when you wake up. Because we are all slightly mouth breathers when we sleep, and the vocal cords can be so dry, and the last thing you want to do is just jump into singing with dry vocal cords. I want you to also keep in mind that when you're drinking water, the water never actually touches the vocal cords. So they do not get lubricated just because you have that refreshing sensation in your throat. The vocal cords don't actually get lubricated. The water has to go through your system sometimes for hours before that hydration makes its way to your vocal cords themselves. So you want to keep that in mind. If you know that you have to sing, let's say 2 hours after you've woken up, then drink a lot of water when you wake up. I mean, that's just a good practice anyways. If you want to get hydration directly to the vocal cords, it's a really good idea to have some type of steamer or some type of nebulizer. So I'll show. This is a little nebulizer that I use. Just puts a little bit of water in there. It turns the water into a really, really fine steam, and that steam goes directly to the vocal cords because you're inhaling it, and it's very, it feels so nice in the morning. It takes about 10 minutes to do it. So that's something that you have to negotiate if you're tight on time. So having said all that, that's a lot that I said. What is the best way for us to warm up the voice? Well, we want to do something called SOVT exercises. So that stands for semi-occluded vocal tract. For some of you, you're familiar with what this means, but I just want to reinstate the importance of it. So when something is semi-occluded, it is semi-closed off. Yes, we really want to cater our warm-ups around SOVT exercises because they're extremely therapeutic for the voice. Extremely therapeutic for the voice. And that's the attitude that we want to bring into our warm-up. So it's gentle, it's nice, it's even, it's easy, but at the same time, you're building that internal pressure, which is what a good warm-up will do. So let me see if I can backtrack that a little bit. Building up internal pressure. That's how we want to understand singing in general, just in general. You're containing pressure inside of your body, and you're sort of letting some of that pressure out. Now, if we don't know what that feels like, what our default response is going to be when we sing is just to shove a whole bunch of air volume out. And that's if you've ever felt like your voice was shouty or strainy or fatigued. You know, it's a really good idea to start to train your body on containing some of that pressure via these SOVT exercises. You and me, have a tendency to do a lot of SOVT exercises. So as a refresher, anytime you work with a straw, that's SOVT. You can vary straw and water or narrow straw here. Those are the exercises we're going to do today. But if you don't want to use an external something, a tool, then you can use your mouth. So anytime you've gone hum, those are all SOVT because that's semi-closed off. When you do that, it allows for that internal pressure to build. We get a solid feel for what those lungs compressing the air should feel like. Follow me so far? Yeah, extremely therapeutic for the voice. And I just want to reiterate, let's keep it very, very, very simple. So I'll demonstrate our exercise and then give you some modifications for it, and that's how we'll proceed. If you want to, I'll start basic, and if you want to make it harder, I'll show you what you can do to make these exercises hard. Ultimately, we want to cater to, if we have no time whatsoever, I'll show you what to do in 5 minutes. If we've got a little bit more time, I'll show you what to do in 10. But then a good, thorough exercise would be about 15, 20 minutes. Okay, that's when you start really feeling like your voice is ready to be used. So our first thing that we want to do, if you've got your little straw, this is the first thing that we want to do. When you warm up, you're bringing your internal processes into balance. That means breath, larynx, resonators. Those are the 3 substructures of the voice. You've got to wake them up and you've got to bring them in balance. So the first thing that I want to do is our lung exercise. Now, what I'm using, if you're new, if this is the first time you're seeing this is a 3 millimeter, I suppose, sing straw. So we've got our singing straw, and I'll leave a link below in the description. If you are interested in singing straw, you can get yourself a nice little discount. I use them all the time, but this one is my favorite. They come with varying degrees. This is the 3 millimeter. I'll get a little closer so you can see. See that okay? Yeah, 3 millimeter. I find that's really perfect. Nice amount of challenge. There's a 4 millimeter and I think 1.5 millimeters. That 1.5 millimeters is so doozy, but I do use it for really, really high notes. So check this out if you're interested. It's very, very challenging. So what we're going to start with is our 2 minutes. I'm setting my metronome now. If you have a metronome at home, I like to set it at 76 or 75 beats per minute. Hear that okay? And then I'll set a 2-minute timer. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our straw. If you don't have a straw, Make your lips as tight as you can. You're gonna inhale like you're slurping a spaghetti noodle for 8 counts, full power. Then you're gonna exhale for 8 counts, full power. This will wake our abs and our lungs up. We ready to go? Here we go. Exhale. Here we go. That feels great. I do tend to really love anything that kicks my butt. And it's really important to start with the lungs because we're wind acoustic instruments. Can you hear? I've not even touched my voice in a vocal warm-up yet, but can you hear how much more projection my voice has just about 2 minutes after doing something like this? It's really important to keep in mind that you want your straw to be relatively narrow on the lung capacity exercise, which is what this is. Partly because if our straw is too wide and too big, it's not giving us an accurate amount of challenge. We're not getting any sort of resistance to the straw. It's too big. So we'll fill up after 2-3 counts. And then when we're exhaling, we'll blow all the air out after 2-3 counts. So a small straw, if you want an alternative, you can get a juice box straw, like at a grocery store. A small straw allows for you to feel the pull and the push, which really tones up your lungs. Really important to remember that. So now I'm gonna move over to my other favorite, which is my bubble cup. Bubble cup, bubble cup. Now, I'm really gonna recommend that you do the small straw for a lung capacity exercise, but then really spend some time with a bubble cup. You know, that's not trademarked in any degree. It's just a deep cup, which is about little less than halfway full of water, a top so we don't splash ourselves in the face, and a normal drinking straw. What this is gonna do is it's gonna allow the water to serve as an obstacle so that we generate more resistance, more push on the exhale. And that push is really good because it keeps that emphasis going nice and low for your voice. So that way you don't squeeze, you don't try to overcompensate here. Everything is sourced from the diaphragm. But let's just say that the exercises that you do today, you'll start bubble cup, but then it gets really easy for you. Then move on to 3 millimeter straw, because this is hard. This is really hard. But I feel like I'm like, and. If you just jump into the smaller straw with the voice, you could over pressurize your voice and end up kind of feeling the consequence of that. Like, it's just like it's a little too much air pressure on the voice. So we have to work gently. Remember, with your vocal warm-up, you want to keep it really simple. So we're going to start with a bubble cup. And again, if you don't have a cup, because I didn't warn you ahead of time, try lip trill. If that's weird for you, give it a good solid hum. But you want to feel more than anything that you can follow through with your breath. That's what we're generating. We're applying breath to tone now. So here's what we're going to do.